price. But yeah, this is something. It's nice to know it exists, but I
Like
will
an
never.
NFT kind of certificate, or
Yeah.
There's only like
Guys,
two
if you ever
people
need to know
that
where
would
to
buy
spend
these.
your Bitcoin money or your Dogecoin money, this is it.
Dogecoin?
This is where you spend that Dogecoin money, okay?
we take Ethereum as well.
Oh dear.
You know what? I bet you there is some Saudi prince who's really into Gundam. He's gonna get one.
Oh, I'm
He's
sure.
gonna get
Yeah,
one.
I'm sure.
100%.
Is like
100%.
his building house.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, that's our little nice to know it exists, never really wanted kind of thing.
Yeah.
With the latest line of the SD kits.
All right, that's
Ooh.
me. I am the resident SD guy. So
go.
right now we have I don't know why they did this, but they released I don't mind them releasing another wing kit. I just would rather have it as an SDCS. But for some reason, here is an EX standard wing Gundam Zero.
Wasn't the EX standard designed to be compatible with the HG line?
Yeah, they're meant to be like assorted weapons and other stuff. But
So like,
it really looks cartoonish though, just because it is an SD thing. Because like if you compare SD to SD stuff and just put them next to each other, it's like, oh, they're from the same universe, so it doesn't really matter. It's just artist visual, right? But when you start combining, you know, SD parts on like regular HG stuff, it just kind of looks
ridiculous.
cartoonish. I mean, unless you're doing HG SD, right? Which is like, okay, that's the style, but for you to use these parts for regular kit bashing, I wouldn't suggest it.
Yeah.
But whatever, to each his own.
Well, if you can use some parts, basically, if you'd cut out certain portions of it.
Like
and
the shield, I could see like as a short shield or whatever. But like the wings, they're
I mean, like if you go back to the slide on the left, there is you can see the thruster, the sort of the thrust on the back of the wing, or the thicker part of the wing.
Yeah.
Taking that out, and that could be, say, part of a calf.
Yes.
You know, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So you're basically you're cutting the parts completely apart and repurposing them as part of a greater whole. But no, as a just a kit bash, no, not really.
No.
You'd have to mod a lot.
The second thing is this is being released this month, so we have the Sergeant Vert Buster, the Wukong Impulse, and the Epion. I believe that's Nobunaga, right? So those are just being released this month. No other information, but we also have new releases. Because you might want to hold up on buying any of these kits. Because they are coming out with some DX kits with them. So these are the kits themselves, but with extra stuff. The first one we have is the Sun Wukong.
This is in line with the show that's online on Gundam.
It is.
YouTube channel,
So,
right?
yeah, this is the Wukong Impulse DX set, and it has like two different spiritual forms, I believe. So there's a red and a blue version, and I believe both of them come with the DX set. And I'm just trying to run through this quickly. This one got me confused for a little bit. I was wondering who this is based off of, and on Bandai's site it says this is the Arsene Gundam X. And I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Apparently this is supposed to represent Lupin, famous thief.
Watch Hayao Miyazaki's film Lupin III if you want to research it and be entertained at the same time.
There you go.
Well, it's actually, as a character, he's from France. He's a real tons and tons of books and novels and whatever. So, but yeah, we know it's the Miyazaki style, the films and shows.
So the next two kits I'm gonna quickly run down again. You might want to hold off on that Epion because there is an Epion Dark Mask version. Which, the reason why they put this is because Nobunaga was rumored to be a demon. So they decided to reflect that on his SD form. And right under that, we have the Shosho Wing Holy costume version. So he has more of an angelic look to him, as well as these other parts.
So you're not going to need those base figures? They're going to be part of this already?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, from what I read in the title, it wasn't more like, it wasn't like whatever costume set for whatever. It just says weapon set. Or not DX set. Not even weapon set, just DX set. So whenever they release something like that, it's usually a full set with a bunch of crap with it.
Yep.
And then here is the major one that I'm really excited about, as you can tell.
Oh boy.
The Sergeant Vert Buster DX set. So I believe it includes all that crap you see there on the left-hand most picture. 2 rail guns, the shoulder pads from the Vert Gundam itself, Vert Buster itself. I think it has handcuffs, a small shield, the helicopter thingy.
Baton?
Yeah, batons, the leg guards. Yeah.
Handcuffs?
Yeah, they have handcuffs.
Well, it's a police officer, right?
I see it right there.
Yeah, the Vert Buster one too comes with handcuffs.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We don't know what the box art looks like.
The box art
yet,
looks
Doug.
like. This is just announced. They haven't shown the box art yet.
And as you can see there in the middle, they're also releasing another unit.
That's the officer version.
That is the officer version. So I believe that is the in the show at least, those guys will be like the grunt suits that they will have to like fight and shit like that.
And those grunts actually look cool though.
Yeah, they do. Right? And what I like about it is even if you get the DX set, you're like, oh crap, like I have so much extra parts. Screw it, just buy one of these guys and then you can army build. So
A lot of painting though.
oh god, SD kits are a nightmare to paint. A lot nightmare. And going in with that, so this is not for everybody, but I would ask your local hobby store to see if they're doing this campaign, because this is a Hero Craft gift campaign from Bandai, and the thing goes is buy any 2 SD Gundam World Heroes products, and you get a Heroes Craft sticker sheet or like effects part sheet, and you get one on each different period. So if you're into that and you want to, make dynamic scenes, if you're interested in this anyway, just be sure to ask your local hobby shop, get some free swag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Next, Simon, us off on the Scramble.
Okay, so in Fukuoka, Japan, they're Gundam-based Fukuoka. They're basically doing a Gundam Scramble promotion for the, I believe, is it a mobile game or like an arcade game?
I think it might be an arcade game.
Okay, yeah. So Gundam Scramble, they're promoting the game by basically releasing a red with Psycho Green, with the Psycho frame being neon green, of the HG and Destroy mode only, and the SD, which can transfer from Unicorn and Destroy mode. We've all seen this kit for a good while. The Unicorn, especially the Perfectibility B now, has been milked the hell out of. I mean, like Jason says, it exists.
Yeah.
That's it.
Moving
You want
on.
it? If you want it, you're not from Japan, you're going to pay an arm and a leg for it. So, that's it. There's not much to say about it. It exists. And
Right.
honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the neon green, but it matches with the red, so hey, who am I to say anything?
Does it really?
Yeah,
There's
does it really match?
Okay, enjoy the weird Christmas Gundam. There you go.
I am not a big fan of that.
Wow.
At all.
That's it.
Matt, Girl Gun.
Girl Gun Lady, yes. So the show's been on. We've seen, well, there's been 2 episodes. I've seen 1, and 1 was enough for me. Though I have to say, I am a big fan of what Bandai is doing with Girl Gun Lady and the the real Gundam, or actually I already forgot what's it actually called, but just this whole push on showing this hobby and showing building as a group activity for one, and people enjoying the building itself. So basically, the big promotion of the hobby. And the one scene that really tickled me, it was really dumb, but I really loved it. There is a shootout near the end of the episode where one of the girls runs out of ammo, and she sees a box of unbuilt bullets, and she does a big run and slides behind a box where or like there's some kind of concrete whatever thing that she hides behind, grabs the box of ammo and starts cutting screws and assembling it. I kind of really like that. It's super dumb, but I appreciate that.
You're in war and you're fighting and you gotta cut out bullets with nippers.
Yeah. Well, you need bullets.
Guys, next generation warfare right here.
That's right. So if we go to the slides, the first one is just the box art of the girl commanders. So if you haven't seen the show, there are 4 squads: Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. Yeah. And for some reason they're all Alpha Tango, Bravo Tango, etc. Anyway, and each one has a commander who you see the anime versions of here, and each one of them has a particular gun. Mm-hmm. And these are these kits are going to be regular release. Some of them, these particular ones haven't come out yet. We've only seen the blue, basically the attack girl gun for Alpha Tango that came out with the Figure Ice figure. But if we go to the next slide. And this is where I call shenanigans on because so you can buy or you will be able to at some near point of future time. You will be able to buy each individual figure of these commanders, or their anime persona, I guess, because those are 1-to-1 size. Mm-hmm. In the reality of the show. Oh, okay. The figures are actually that size, as far as I understand. I've only seen the first episode, and I don't think I'll watch more. But so if we go back, to the slides, mm-hmm. P Bandai is releasing at the moment 2, and I'm gonna bet back up 1. I'm going to bet the other 2. Figures are going to get the same release. Mm-hmm. So this is a release. So it's the exact same figure, not even recolor, nothing else. It's going to cost you an extra $15 to $20 because it has a different box art and it has 2 collectible cards.
Oh, wow! You know, it'd be awesome if they were signed. Well, if they were officially signed.
I doubt that they're gonna.
They're not gonna.
There's probably
they're printed signed.
1,000 of these made or whatever.
No, because it looks like the cards are printed signed, so it's not like they sign them themselves, but it's stamped with their
for sure
with their thing.
And if the world if there was any justice in the world, this thing would just flop and they wouldn't sell them. But as I mentioned before, lemmings with wallets, I bet you those things are gonna sell out. And I don't know, paying $15 for 2 cardboard cards is just not really.
They might not be cardboard. It might be plastic cards too.
Maybe, but even then, I don't know. For me, 0 interest. But
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when you see people collect BTS like photo cards.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't make fun of BTS. Okay.
No, I still have somewhere a bunch of Star Wars cards was when I was getting stuff as a kid and whatever. And all this stuff is indeed targeted to a much younger audience. So I'm sure they're collecting all kinds of other cards, so maybe this would be an awesome thing. It's like, mommy, get me this, special card set because I so love the actress, blah blah blah.
Love in what
Yeah.
sense? Okay,
Now, also, we've seen a preview of, and we saw the slide there for a second, of a new commander who I guess is coming out in future or near, and there's going to be some episode where Commander Amatsu. So that's we're looking at.
I was gonna say Gamma Tango.
Yeah,
going with the flow, right?
And if you're into it, hooray! I wanted to leave off on a positive end, hence I put that picture of the inside of the gun.
Yeah.
Because I didn't, I doubt I will get these kits. I didn't really look that much into them, but I was actually impressed that there is a functioning trigger with springs and everything, and I have a feeling that on the right that's the safety that if it's turned over will block the trigger. So it's I'm impressed that they went to this trouble.
I want to get one just to see how it works.
Well, according to Mecha Guy Kotsu, they come with different decals, so you can literally make up the whole team if you buy like 3 of the guns and whatever. But hey, you do you.
Yeah. Well, you have to be careful because each girl has a slightly different front end on the gun.
Oh, right.
Long barrel, short barrel. This thing that looks like a meat tenderizer.
Oh yeah, the close combat type, which is really brutal if you think about it.
Yeah.
Looking at the older on the other guns as well, it looks like they have different barrels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Yeah, there's different barrels, and each barrel has an upside and a downside according to the man.
And pretty much most of the guns, like just like you see here for the Bravo and Delta guns, they're pretty much exactly the same gun, just recolored. So the 4 girls because there's the commander and 3 girls, so there's 4 guns.
Yeah.
And pretty much it's just variations of I think 5 different barrels that they have.
Mm-hmm.
I think to be honest, just didn't pay that attention. But hey, neat. There you go. I said piece.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, let's start on our seed kit.
This is the year of seed anniversary too, so.
Yes.
Dagger, yummy.
Oh yeah.
Cheap and cheerful.
So just starting things off, and I do believe this is actually already released in Japan. Is that right, boys? Yeah. Okay.
These are out too.
So it's already been out, and unfortunately, due to the way that the world is, we're gonna get this a lot later, or not a lot, but a little bit later. And this is the Dagger L, and I do believe a Wyndham P Bandai expansion was also announced. That's the one with like the giant nuclear tubes and the what were those cannons called again, Simon?
The Doppelhorn.
Doppelhorns.
The cannons, and then the nuclear launcher. It's called the multi-striker pack. So, for a little history lesson for our non-seed fans, the Dagger L is what is the missing link between the Dagger and the Wyndham. So it starts off with the Dagger. No, it starts off with the 105 Dagger, but that was too expensive, so they made the Dagger, and then they moved to the Dagger L, and then now they're at the Wyndham.
Well then. Yeah.
So the new P Bandai multi-striker pack, Adrian, if you could bring that back up.
Mm-hmm.
So a little history about what the multi-striker is. The multi-striker pack is essentially, as every comment section of this pack will say, is the war crimes pack, because they basically use it to fire nuclear missiles at civilian colonies.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and what's surprising for me is that the Doppelhorn, I think, Keith, you mentioned this, the Wyndham actually does have like armor schneiders or throwing daggers, so the Doppelhorn does come with those daggers.
Mm-hmm.
And the and the multi-striker, the missiles are actually separate pieces. Surprisingly, I thought they were just gonna be lazy and go like, done.
Yeah, like it's just like a little sticker, if anything. But like, no, this is like an actual like piece that you can you know, you can attach like a very fine wire if you're trying to make a little like pose right there that you can attach like the missiles coming out. Yeah, or like, you know, just like cast your own effect part or something like that to like, you know, like showcase like the firing effect of the missiles. So I think there's definitely some room for creativity there. So very exciting to see. And I do love the fact that like they are interchangeable too. Like the packs, you can throw it on, you know, the Wyndham or like the Dagger L, because it's like,
throw it on Strike,
a little
too.
bit of modular.
Yeah, anything with Strike or Harp.
I think you probably could, because it's like the peg on the back is probably the same one as like the revival Strike, I believe. So
I am salty about the fact that this is P Bandai. But nothing will change that.
Are you surprised though? Let's be real.
No, I'm not, but P Bandai. No, stop it.
Speaking of P Bandai.
I think it was just announced this week, the Neo Roanoke version of the Wyndham. So, as you know, as the name implies, it's a different color. Otherwise, build structure is more or less the same as the general release Wyndham.
It's just a recolor. There's no difference.
Other than that, though, yeah, there's no difference. It's just like a complete different color scheme. Even like the flight pack is more or less the same as the Wyndham's, right?
It's
like I don't think there's any.
It's
okay.
Exact same.
So
there is no difference.
Yeah. So if anyone has like an airbrush, they might just have the sanity to just buy a general release Wyndham and then just paint over it, because I don't know if a P Bandai price is worth paying for just a color swap at this point. So
that's just made for collectors.
But yeah, moving on.
Or anything.
Yeah, or people who don't really have the time to spend to paint over. But you know what? Different audience, clearly not meant for us.
Speaking of Seed Anniversary, the next thing we're going to talk about, this was just announced. This is the Lacus Klein figure rise. So, wow, another Gundam girl. This time, she's the singer.
Slash queen or
slash
leader
queen,
of
whatever.
a
Leader
country.
of the third faction of the war that says, "Stop fighting, you're all idiots." That's
Stand her in front of your pink Zaku that you got from P Bandai.
No, see, here's the thing. We could get a deep dive into this, but that's Mir Campbell. That's
it
not
is.
Lacus
Sorry.
Klein.
Sorry.
So what I believe is going to happen. So this kit comes with like a pink Haro in both like closed ear open form with multiple hands. I think it comes with a stand, so you can like have her pose singing on her tippy toes. But what I believe is gonna, Keith, maybe you could say something or not on this, but I believe they're gonna P Bandai Mir Campbell.
Most likely, because like obviously like the whole like outfit and everything, and I would not be surprised if they did that anyways, because you know, it's Bandai. That's it. It's Bandai.
Also, according to official sources on, you know, the Seed Destiny stuff, though, I believe Mir Campbell has a bigger cup size than Lacus.
Yes.
Because I remember people pointing it out in like the openings where she just jumps up, and then she went full, you know, 80-year-old granny, where they both fly up and then go back down.
Like what? They went in her front pockets or something, or like?
Maybe, I don't know, but it was very exaggerated. Let's just say.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can change up the skirt. I don't know why I hate saying that, but I do. Anyways.
Okay, anyway, thing I'm excited about this is because they're releasing 30-minute sister stuff. I'm thinking that a lot of this stuff can be like hot swapped.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Right? So you can have friggin' Lacus Klein become a Gundam girl if you want her to be.
Is she already a Gundam girl? Oh, wait.
Technically.
You can get like an HGCE Zaku warrior, and then have like the Zaku parts attached to like the 30-minute mission, 30-minute sister's body type, and then put her head on it.
No, technically, Lacus did pilot the Infinite Justice for like a minute.
Yeah, she could do something like that, right?
She brought it to Earth.
She's also a pilot character in I think in one of those like Rangu versus Zaft's kind of arcade games.
Yes.
So she is a pilot. So
She's a coordinator, so all coordinators can be pilots, right?
Yep.
So, in that mobile game too.
Gundam Break? Gundam Break?
mobile game?
Yeah, she's a pilot in that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think one in her dress and one in her pilot's uniform.
Huh.
Okay. Well then. So confirmed, Lacus Klein could kick some butt if she really needed to.
Well, she
so
technically
all right.
commands
All right.
the army.
Yeah.
I mean, if your army is literally one guy called Kira Yamato, I mean, yeah, you're commanding a whole army then, I guess.
Okay, let's not get into that. All right, next thing.
All right.
Oh,
so this
boy.
is the Jin.
Which is out. It is out of Japan. It's
Yay! All right, I'm skipping past this since it's out.
Except for the head. The head is wonky.
It's out.
Okay.
They're gonna Bandai it.
What are we looking for? The kit. Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we looking at this one? Gundam Blaze
Is
exclusive
this a Gundam-based
freedom.
exclusive? No, Nub Markel. Is this Nub Markel?
Pretty much. Otherwise, just Freedom 2.0. So
All silver.
I'm pretty sure they
Hey, here's something we can talk about.
A Lightning Striker pack.
all right, Simon, you're up.
Oh God.
Yo.
Wow, I just got. Hey, there's a bus. Let's throw you under it.
Well, you were the one talking about it most of the time, so.
Well, nobody. Well, when you think about it, the Lightning Strike, nobody really knows what that is. It was never in the show. It wasn't even an MSV
I knew
video.
what it was. Not that that matters.
So,
Oh,
based
bad.
off of the Gundam wiki,
Yeah.
it's essentially the primary armament, the Lightning Striker, is an electromagnetic cannon. It's designed to improve high firepower, and it can be separated two separate guns in the forearms. I believe you can get it as a. I know on our local hobby store you can buy the Lightning Striker pack, but it won't come with a Strike Gundam.
Yes, I believe that's like around $80 or something just for the
Yes,
pack.
for like a pack, which I.
Just for the pack itself?
Yes.
Oh, I mean, it's P Bandai, right? So.
Yeah.
So basically, this is a long-range sniping unit. According to the wiki, it can snipe 120 kilometers on Earth and over 10,000 kilometers in space, which is, okay.
120 kilometers on Earth? What happened to the curvature of our planet?
Gravity and that. I think that's what's involved.
But isn't it a beam? Or is it a projectile weapon or a beam weapon?
It's a projectile.
sounds like a railgun, to be honest with you.
It is a railgun.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I take it back.
Yeah.
Oh, and Mr. Expensive.
I have
Yes.
the China Red one up right now.
Yes. So, anyways, Lightning Strike. Moving on. Whatever. It's a pack that no one has ever heard of.
Yeah.
No one really knows.
And
about
you
it.
can get it in here too. Woo.
Yes. So this is the China Red Strike. Keith, take it away.
Okay, so like the name kind of suggests, it is an exclusive China release. So if somehow you were able to, travel in this day and age, you can definitely pick this up when it releases out in China. I do believe it's to commemorate the opening or the completion of the Freedom Gundam statue. Is that correct?
The Freedom. Life-size
Something
Freedom.
like that.
In Shanghai, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of was burning
so
yesterday.
It's the but yeah, so this one here actually comes with all the shrouds for the strike. So that includes the aforementioned lightning strike. We've got the launcher. We've got the scale. We've got the sword. We've got the IWSP that's familiar on the Strike Rouge. We've also got I think it's called the Owashi.
Otori pack, yeah.
Otori, sorry. Otori pack. And it also has a few additional items that were actually very surprising. Like we got the Grand Slam on an MG scale, which is just literally a big
metal sword,
physical blade.
Yeah.
As it's previously first released with the P Strike. I do believe you've also gotten the missile bazooka that the Strike used during its first underwater encounter on Earth. Yeah. Otherwise, like it's just like a really good all-around package that you can get. And I do believe, surprisingly, like this is like even though it's pricey, don't get me wrong, but I do believe it actually comes at a relatively accessible price for the amount of stuff that you're getting.
You're getting the entire Strike essentially.
Yeah, like you're getting the Strike, and you know if you can get past the kind of the garish kind of color of the red, then you can probably it's probably worth picking up as well too, especially when you're someone who likes the design of the Strike and also just the amount of bang for buck that you're getting with this kit. So, yeah. Hopefully, maybe your local hobby shop might be able to pick it up. Of course, it might be a lot more pricier than if you were to be in China to pick it up. But you know what? Those are the prices that you have to pay. So it is what it is. Simon, any comments regarding?
If I remember right, I've seen a couple of places offering pre-orders somewhere to the tune of like 380, 400.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense because you're paying for third-party shipping and whatnot. That's a total different conversation.
And it's also going to be a big box too, because that's
this box will have
all those striker packs.
This box must have a handle.
And I have a feeling that in a year, or maybe a year and a half, something like that, we're going to see a P Bandai release of in regular colors. So basically, you're going to get all they're just going to rebox, recolor the Strike, or have the regular Strike, box it.
Yeah, but you don't really. Okay, so one thing I wanted to mention is you don't really need to recolor that. You could literally paint this thing in regular Strike colors.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
but basically what I'm saying is they'll just have a regular colored version of this on P Bandai at one point.
Yeah, I mean, okay, what pisses me off about this kit, it's not really the price point at this point, because like that's just fact. There's nothing you can do about that. But why is the gun red? Why is the beam rifle red on the Ale Strike?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
It's because it's on the same sprue as the knees. You see all the gray parts where it's supposed to be gray, like on the side of the legs? It's because it comes on the same sprue. That's why they do it.
Yeah, that didn't make sense to me. That this left gun become that color. But another cool thing, you can actually make the perfect Strike out of this too.
Yeah. Can you?
Yeah.
They include the battery pack.
They literally made the battery pack the perfect Strike. Well, the thing is, the regular release MG Strike, Ale Strike Revive, comes with the extended battery pack.
Oh, whoops.
Oh.
Whoopsies.
So in theory, that should have the extended battery pack.
Huh.
If Bandai normally Bandai is lazy about runners when it comes to P Bandai, so they just leave in parts. So they usually have a fat stack of leftover parts. I do think they're just gonna leave in all the parts with extended battery. There's no way that they would just like not put it in. It's already in the regular release. Why not just leave it in? You can make the perfect Strike. See, Roman, you can make the perfect Strike.
Guys, we forgot to talk about the Strike Noir pack too.
Oh right,
that's
Strike
like
Noir's
probably
in
the
there.
best pack.
Oh, it is at the bottom. It's at the bottom. It's on the second picture on the bottom left.
Yeah, but funny thing is, the Strike Noir itself is a different Strike. It's the Strike E.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the armor schneiders. It has a holding point, a hard point for the beam pistols.
Yep.
However, this does come with the beam pistols, but it can't store them.
I guess you gotta hold them forever.
Yeah, it just holds them. So it's just like, okay, it's there at this point, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Keith. I honestly forgot the Strike Noir pack was there.
That was like the most exciting thing. That was the most exciting thing for me too. Like just the fact that it came with the Noir pack. I'm like,
here we go. All right, Jason, what's next?
So, next we are moving out of news and going into a new segment.
Just a quick question. Do you guys want to take a? It's already been almost 2 hours. It's almost 2 o'clock right now. Do you want to take a?
This is our last segment. Let's just go.
Just go for it. All right, sure.
Yeah, and it's quick.
Let's just go through it.
All right, sure. Actual segment time. Let's do this.
Yes.
Okay, so this segment is pretty much us talking about our favorite and essential tools, and then a little bit at the end about our non-favorite and essential tools.
No, you're a tool.
Yeah, you're a tool. Okay,
Like,
so
essential tool, dumb tool we don't really need but we like.
So yeah, the thing for this segment is we'll each list off one tool first that is essential to all of our builds that we've done so far. And the other one is something that might not be in every build that we do, but we like the thing a lot, the tool a lot. So I'll start first, and it would just be the airbrush. I recently started airbrushing maybe 2-3 years ago, I think. And I now can't finish a kit without doing at least a paint job on it. Right? And a good airbrush can mean the difference between maybe, a 3-hour project or a 1-hour project. Right? Just because of cleaning, maintenance, and the amount of time you're going to spend on, general maintenance for the airbrush itself. Not to mention a lot of stuff you need to paint in general, but all in all, having a good airbrush is the way to go.
And that Iwata Revolution, I use the same one.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
I'm planning to get a second one, actually. One for metallics and one for regular colors, which, so currently I'm using a cheapy one right now for metallics and one for just general paint jobs.
Yep, makes sense.
And the thing that I use a lot, but I wouldn't say that I necessarily need to have, would be this ceramic blade. Now, this ceramic blade, Matt, I think it was Matt or somebody else that introduced it to me. Even though it's a blade, it doesn't actually cut. So what it's supposed to do, it's supposed to help plane the plastic and get rid of nub marks a lot easier. So if you're just starting out...
It scrapes, basically.
It scrapes, yeah. If you're starting out, I would suggest getting one of these just to... It's an easy way of scraping off the mold lines that comes in the kit sometimes.
And they're not cheap, but they are absolutely fantastic.
Yes. So if you could take a look at the bottom right area, the picture, you could see this schoolgirl model that's being worked on with the ceramic blade, and you could tell that the mold lines that you could see above the shoulder are almost completely gone. So
wait, Flash, what do you mean by mug warmers? I have many questions about that.
Well then. So this also does include 2 different blades. One sharp one for just generic flat surfaces, or like easy to access surfaces, and there's a curved one for concave surfaces.
I've never used that side of that blade. I actually considered using it.
I've used it a couple times.
Inside, like the thruster bells rounded.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Those are a good way to do that. Water dish for decals. Warm water transfers decals easier. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those are my 2 picks. And sorry, I also have an honorable mention too. Is this thing? It's supposed to be a panel lining tool to create panel lines and
Scriber, right?
It's sort of a scriber, yeah. It's weird. It actually bevels things as well. So if you have an area, let's say you have 2 pieces. Let me see if I can. Yeah. So let's say you have 2 pieces. Let's say you have 2 pieces that are supposed to go together, and you don't want to glue them to make a seamless effect. What you can do is you can take the beveling tool and scrape off one side or both sides, and there, boom, you have a panel line right in between the 2 pieces, right?
And another really useful thing, because that rectangular part you can run along the line of a part, and then the scribing needle comes down, and you can have a panel line that you create equidistant to the side of this. So especially if you have a curve, you can make perfect curve along the side of the.
That's what the if you could take a look, there's a hook knife at the top image, and that's what you'd be using for the to do parallel panel lines. Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm up. So
Yes,
for me,
you are.
I don't have a build setup. I don't have like a specific table or anything to where I build. So a lot of the tools I mainly use are in this tool pouch. I got the Ava Black type. So I got this at our local hobby shop. You can also buy this online very easily, but as you can see in the images, this thing's basically designed to hold your basic tools. So like blades, sandpaper, files, multiple nippers, because as most builders, we have a rough cutter, and then we use, ideally, if we have the wallet for it, a blessed god hand to find cuts. And it has a little folding pouch in the middle. So mine is actually, I'll show you my messiness. So I have like the panel liners for straight builds. There's files underneath. I have some blades here. I have the ceramic knife and a regular hobby knife here, and some tweezers as well. And in here, I have a couple of paintbrushes that I really need to put protective caps on, a couple of glass files, some sandpaper, one tube of like Tamiya, I believe, like, let's just call it glue, I don't know. I bought that when I was doing metal etched parts. I just keep it in there for like emergencies. And then here is where I keep like, there's this the hobby knife I bought. It has a container to hold the blades, and it also acts as a stand for the blades. I have the big hobby knife in here, and then two nippers, God hand, and then the Bandai startup build-up nippers, and I have the part separator.
Nice.
And it all conveniently
Very
fits
cool.
here. So in the before times, as I like to call it, we would all go to the hobby shop to build. I didn't have to like bring like a bag of tools or anything. I just literally threw this in my backpack and just went over. Super convenient. Favorite tool. I recently got this. Is the Display Leviathan file. It's a ceramic file. It's a little bigger than your run-of-the-mill file, but it's way less harsher than a metal file. It is fantastic, and because it's like a ceramic file, it won't rust or anything. You just run this under the sink to clean. It is very fine. It's not super fine to the point where you're polishing. It's like around 1,000, 1,200 grit. So it can definitely work on a nub for a good bit, but it won't like rip off like all the plastic and everything. So I really love this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have been using it in all my builds.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And it comes in a nice carrying
I
case.
might definitely look into that.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't cheap.
It ain't cheap.
Well, Matt. All right.
Yeah. So my I guess essential. Actually, they're all favorite. So all the tools that just came before, practically, I love them all. But my hard sanding sticks and blocks, I guess. I'm sort of cheating by having two things, but it's sort of as an evolution. The super sanding blocks are actually made by Anthony Goodman, who lives in London, Ontario, or Chatham. I can't remember right now. He's actually a very nice guy. You'll always see him at IPMS shows and that kind of thing. But anyway, and they are fantastic. I use those for larger, especially flat pieces. I started out with those, and you can see on the sort of bottom left one, the edge is all filled in with dust, and the center is barely used. And I was always having a bit of a trouble getting at smaller bits. And then I discovered, or actually one of my friends gave me one of these tapered wave sticks to try. And I became a convert. I used 400, 600, and 1200 grit. And having a sort of a wider surface, and especially that little tapered end, it is just makes my life so much easier. I love those. I love those little sticks. Now, in terms of the kind of it's still used all the time, but my second slide is all about safety. Because I had one of my you can see my little crab is holding a
Mehoy,
style.
mehoy.
Yeah.
What
What the heck was that?
So that thing rolled off and basically jabbed itself into my thigh. Actually, if you could bring back the slide. So I basically started looking for things that would allow me to not have a bloody leg. And the first one was the bottom right, that Funtech. I saw that in a magazine and then hunted it down in Japan. And it just basically, you stack whatever kind of knives and pens or whatever you want on that. I got at the Otakuthon in 2019, got the little crab, which was awesome. But in between, and Simon already mentioned it, that Olfa Art Knife, I absolutely love this thing. And I originally got it just because it had the stand and basically it wouldn't roll off the desk. But that thing is so handy because it also has a scribing needle. It comes with 30 blades, and there's already a disposal part for it as well, or there's a disposal little buckety thing. But it is absolutely fabulous. And I will end off by saying, because I always have the little crab here, it's one of my favorite things to look at. And literally yesterday he got a little, or should I say a big brother. It's the same company. It is a Bluetooth speaker. So you could actually, stick your phone on it and, watch a movie or whatever, or just, hold your phone on it. But and it was like $15. It was nothing.
Matt, it would have been amazing if you had the Crab Rave dance already pre-loaded on that phone.
Oh god, yeah. The eyes move a little bit, but that's about it. But yeah, it's
that's cute. That's cute.
Yeah, there we go. So.
Do you mind linking that to me later?
Yeah, it's just on eBay. So
the meme lord wants it.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh. Interesting.
Okay, I'll give you my essential.
Hey, here we go.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Next slide, actually.
Oh, next slide. Okay.
No, but this slide is also good.
So when I do my work, I usually do it.
Back it up.
Oh no, this is good. This is good. So yeah, this is my essential. It's a Dyson vacuum. But when I do, so it's not easy to wipe down. So instead of wiping it down, I just use my vacuum. And also when I'm sanding, right, I can just wipe down the pieces or vacuum if it's a giant piece, just so I'm not blowing dust in my face or just trying to get out of the part. So that's my favorite tool.
Yeah.
Or my essential tool, sorry. My favorite tool, if we can go back to the first one, it is a pretty much just a chopper. So you make the equal size pieces, and used right can actually do something like this. I don't know if you guys could see this properly, but the white pieces that you're seeing are all the same size and all able to be done. So it's my go-to when it comes to just putting details on any kind of kit.
See, like I just wanted to mention, guys, we have our live build dates for GTA, and when Jason's on, you'll just see he randomly mutes himself, and you just see this going on with the Dyson vacuum. You just see this. And we're like, what the hell? Where did this vacuum cleaner come from?
I'm waiting for him to bring it to the build room one day.
Oh, that'll be so funny.
I think I might bring.
How Wacky has his fan. You see, Jason has a Dyson there with his name on it.
Oh boy.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
Perfect.
Keith, I know we didn't really get your feedback, but you have any favorite or essential tools you want to add to this?
Yeah, like actually, so I'll start things off with my essential tool. Now, Matt may have some very strong words to say about this one, but my favorite is my sanding sponge, which is a 400 grit. And basically, it's just like, I know like I also have like a hardback version of it as well too. which is good for like those edges and like those like straighter surfaces, flatter surfaces. Sorry. But I just always found that the sanding sponge itself was, and especially at 400 grit, has always been able to, you know, sand down those nub marks a little bit more consistently for me. Like I don't have to spend a super long time. It's more controllable compared to like a 240, where it's you do one run and you're like, oh my gosh, like I stripped off way too much plastic right there. So 400 is a really good area for me. And also just like the fact that it's a whole like sponge as well too, it just feels more ergonomic to hold. Like it's not like a flat kind of surface where you have to like be a little bit more like I don't know how to like coordinate with your hands like that too. You can just like literally hold the thing. It's a little bar that you can run over the piece with. So
cramping your
I
hand
got
going
this.
Like this.
Yeah, I've cramped my hand so many times.
Like,
I end up going like this. I have a weird way of holding it where I'm just like that, and I'm just like. You can see me on stream sometimes doing it. It's weird.
Make sure you have your pinky up, guys. That means you're definitely refined and you're doing something, you know. Yes, there we go.
When in doubt, pinky's out.
Pinky's out.
Pinky's out.
So I got this for you, but I'm pretty sure you guys can like probably like, find one of these like on Amazon or your local hobby shop for around the same price, anyways. I would highly suggest you shop at your local hobby shop so you can support these businesses instead. And I guess like a non-essential, but one that I absolutely love to have all the time. Now, forgive me for saying this, but I would always use my Tamiya panel liner on bare plastic. Now, wait, before I get crucified, this is when I first started out. I discovered the joys of panel lining. If for any of our viewers or listeners who've never actually used the panel liner, like maybe they've used a marker, like this liquid panel liner, like is so satisfying. Like let's just say on like a kit one time, I spent 3 hours just straight up panel lining because it was such a joy. It was so satisfying to just see like the liner just fill in those little crevices right there. So absolutely not necessary, especially if you're one of those guys who kind of focus a little bit more on painting as well too. But you can definitely add to your build by lining it up. Now I wouldn't really recommend it necessarily like sticking to a black, because I do find a black is a little bit on the harsher side, especially when it's like on like one of like the more like white, like the white models like that as well too, who have a lot of like brighter colors on them. So definitely maybe look into maybe a gray or even I would even try considering a brown even, but the black is just like an all around general use that you can use as well too. So yeah, that's my non-essential, but
I would advise instead of going on bare plastic that you just give it a coat of gloss and a top coat afterwards of whatever finish.
For our viewers who's never used Tamiya panel liner, if you use it on bare plastic, it will erode the plastic.
It will change the properties of the plastic, and it will become more brittle.
So yeah, like Adrian said, put some sort of gloss coat on, not matte coat, not flat coat, because you put a flat or matte coat, that you won't get that satisfying flow of panel liner.
You will. It's just the problem
not
with,
as much.
Yeah, the problem with the flat coats is that the surface of the flat coat itself is more jagged. Yeah. Therefore, it leaves room for liquid to flow between the jagged areas of the thing. Go for a gloss coat, essentially. So it will bleed out a little bit. You can clean it up, but sometimes if you can't get to a certain area, then you're pretty screwed, right? So I would advise going gloss first, because even then, after you're done the gloss and your panel lining, if you're doing decals, you could just go and do the decals right after the panel line. So no big deal.
Yeah. Oh, one more little thing I wanted to add about the panel liner, especially for some of like the folks who are interested in the more metallic finishes or even like the gold like top coated stuff. So I actually made this mistake as well too. So I actually bought the no grade 1 to 100 Akatsuki. So that one is like the plastic is just painted over. So the gold is just painted over it, and I made a mistake of like not being careful with my surroundings. I got a little bit top coat on, not a little bit of the panel liner on a piece or two, and it just completely ate through the gold. Like it just demolished it. So I was just like, yeah. So it was horrible. It is one of my biggest failures ever. But yeah, definitely make sure you top coat it with at least a gloss or something like that, just so you can kind of protect the paint, or if you don't have problems with paint.
Yeah, careful about top coating some of the gold finishes, because they can lose the luster. You can create yourself a panel liner, because basically the enamels really flow really nicely, but you can make a basically dilute gray or black acrylic paint in water and do the exact same thing, and it'll be safe for the plating.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
There's also a bunch of tools here we'll quickly run over. That is called a waste of money tools. Unfortunately, we didn't put any of it in the slide. So we have a build station.
By Plamo Kojo. It's basically the same company that made this pouch. So essentially the idea of it is like it holds up your it opens this box. It opens up. It holds your manual, and it has like a little like grid thing, so it catches all the nubs that fall down. But as we all know, nubs don't just fall down. They go left, right, center. They go backwards through time somehow. They travel to the future where you find it on the floor like a month later, and you step on it.
I would say use one of those if you're like, if you have a friend that's gonna be really into it, and then not really into it, but only on the building stage.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's designed so, like, it actually has a little slot to hold your nipper.
Yeah. And
it actually comes with a cutting mat. You can slide front and back, which is cool. Okay. And then the Pro version comes with an LED light. Like a magnifying light, and a magnifying lens. You can just go like this. I mean, it's not necessary. It's cool. Honestly, you don't really need that to, like, build. If you just have a desk, you're good.
Yeah. And they're expensive, too.
Oh my god, like the base one is $100 pretty much.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. Matt, paint mixing balls. I've never used these personally.
It's why not? Especially I'm gonna be getting one of those I guess electric tattoo ink shakers. The
centrifuge.
Yeah, well, no. Well, it's pretty much it's works in a similar way, but these ones are it's like a little cone at the top. It's silicone, and underneath the silicone is an offset little nub or something in there that basically spins fast, like really really fast, and moves it. So when you take your bottle and you press down on the on that silicone top, it just goes and it vibrates the hell out of it. Simon Lamb has been using it for a while and got me kind of excited on the idea, because I also use the I guess that it's a paint stirrer, but originally it was a milk frother for coffee. You know, those wands. But those only work with the pots, like for Tamiya. So it's kind of hard to use with the little dropper bottles, or it's impossible to use with the dropper bottles. Yeah. So beforehand, I would actually put the mixing balls, like the little metal ball bearings, and they're super cheap too. So that's the
Well, you could also use BB gun pellets too.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Well, it depends. It isn't a metal or a paint. Depending on what type of material it is, it will affect the paint, or vice versa.
It should. So stainless steel shouldn't. So these ones, you're supposed to use stainless steel ones, and it does, like, basically it's an agitator, so it does help, keep the paint going, and especially keep it alive a little longer. So, and that's one of the things that this vibrating thing does really well. It livens up even aging paint. So.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, basically, it just mixes it really well, and you can always drop a couple of drops of flow improver, or even thinner. Though thinners wouldn't be the best thing, and revive the paint. So.
Okay, I guess the last expensive waste of money tool is the file I love.
I was supposed to leave the file and the Dyson vacuum out of it because you two actually do use it. So
We use it, but do you really need to spend like what? How much is a cheap Dyson? Like $300, $200?
listen, I have my own Dyson. I have 2 of them.
Do you really need a Dyson specifically for building? No, you don't.
No.
You can use a simple dustpan.
Actually, what a useful thing for that is.
Hold up.
Hold
Wait,
up.
I'm hearing this justification for Dyson.
The old trick of putting pantyhose onto the nozzle of the vacuum just to pick up pieces.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you really need to spend like $50 to $80 on a ceramic file? No, you really don't need to. First of all, why is a ceramic file this expensive? I don't know. I'm not a business person.
It's okay. I bought the
It's
glass
a
one for
hobby
like
tool.
15
It's a hobby
bucks.
tool. Yeah, but why does this need to be so expensive? It doesn't work? Yes, it does. Do you need to spend this much
The
money on a
vortex
file? No,
mixer
you
is very
don't.
nice.
You
I
can get
use it.
cheap metal files. You get sandpaper even. That will work out just fine.
You can get the glass files for like the nail files.
Yeah,
for-
those
for,
are like polishing at that point, though, right?
Yeah. Well, I am sort of. This was good for me when I was working on the working on the decals for the Ryuseigo, because I kind of messed up the finish and then I had to sand it down a little bit, and you know it got really scary when you're like sanding on top of decals, because I was afraid of ripping it, right?
Yeah.
Or scratching it. So.
I mean, that's it, guys.
Yeah, we are a little over time, and
We did it.
yes.
So yeah, thank you everyone for.
Oh yeah,
joining
and
us.
actually, Randy was the Red Dandy. Sorry, was talking about the vortex mixer. That is the thing that I'm getting. That's exactly it.
Ah, okay. Well,
I just forgot the name. Sorry, but
Okay.
yeah. And our the GTA build day is gonna start up in
Right
a second.
after.
If you check the GTA page, we'll have the link up, and hope you join us as we build and continue to prattle on in our delightful manner.
Yeah. All right. See everybody next time.
Take care.
All right. Bye bye.